Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back. Okay, listen. When you're starting out in Raid Shadow Legends, you're gonna pull a bunch of champions, and figuring out who's actually good can be a nightmare. Like, I'm not even joking. When I was building up my first 60, I probably fed away some epics that people would straight up slap me for now. Painful lessons, bro. Painful. That's why today we're doing this, breaking down the top 10 epic champions that you should be hyped about if you pull them. These are the champs that aren't quite legendary, but let's be real, some of them perform just as good if not better in certain areas. They're like the sleeper carries of the game. And just like with the rares list, we're splitting it up. In this video, we're covering spots 10 through 6, and then the top 5 epics are already waiting in my last video. So if you stick with me, boom, you've got the full top 10 epic champions list right here in one place. Easy. Oh, and if you're new, or maybe you're thinking about starting a fresh account, now's literally the perfect time. Grab the game through my link in the description, and you'll be stacked with free champions from the jump. We're talking 3 legendary champions to start, Michelangelo, Elenaril, and Tholen Fallbeard, plus a bunch of epics sprinkled in as you level up. That's like cheat code status for new players. Alright, enough talk. Let's get into it. Here are the top 10 epic champions in Raid Shadow Legends that you absolutely don't want to sleep on. Number 10, Rector Drath. Alright, starting off the top 10 epics at number 10, we've got Rector Drath. And listen, this champ right here is basically your team's guardian angel wrapped up in a creepy-looking package. Like, don't be fooled by her spooky vibe. She's one of the best support epics you can get your hands on. So what makes her so good? First off, Perfect Veil. And I'm not talking about some weak situational buff. I mean constant team protection. In fights like Hydra and Doom Tower, where bosses are smacking your squad left and right, Perfect Veil basically makes your team harder to target and way more survivable. She's turning your glass cannons into ninjas, harder to hit, harder to kill. Then she brings decrease attack on her A1. And yo, don't sleep on that. Lowering the enemy's attack means your team is taking way less damage over time, and that's the difference between surviving a long boss fight and watching your whole squad get folded. And the cherry on top? Her revive. Sure, it's single target, not a big flashy AoE revive, but it comes with a resistance buff. That's huge for late game content, because not only is she bringing your champ back, she's also making sure they don't instantly get slapped by the next debuff or poison cloud that comes flying in. It's like, welcome back to the fight, and here's some armor so you don't immediately die again. Now, if I gotta roast her a little, she's not gonna win you fights with damage. You're not bringing Rector Drath to nuke waves. She's not flashy like that. But if you want someone who keeps your team alive, makes fights consistent, and shuts down the enemy's damage potential, she's an absolute MVP. That's why she earns the number 10 spot on this list. Solid healer, reliable reviver, and perfect Veil Queen for Hydra and Doom Tower. Number 9, Venomage. Alright, coming in at number 9, we've got Venomage. And man, this champ is just nasty in the best way possible. Like, everything about her kit screams, I'm here to make the enemy's life miserable. And honestly, she does that job perfectly. Let's start with the obvious. AoE heal reduction and poisons on a 3-turn cooldown. That's insane. Against bosses like Hydra, Dragon, or even Fire Knight, shutting down their healing and stacking up poisons is basically like putting them on a timer. They might be tanky, but Venomage is out here saying, nah, you're on borrowed time, buddy. Then she adds decreased defense and decreased attack. And listen, those are 2 of the most important debuffs in the game. Decreased defense makes your team's damage skyrocket, and decreased attack means the enemy is suddenly hitting like they forgot how to fight. Put those together, and what do you get? A much smoother, safer run. Your team stays alive longer, your nukers hit harder. Venomage just makes everything feel easier. And then, there's her passive. She literally reduces damage from poisoned enemies. Like, think about that. She's out here poisoning the boss, and then also saying, by the way, since you're poisoned, you can't hit me as hard either. That's toxic in every sense of the word. Now, here's the roast. She's not a nuker. You're not going to see her topping the damage charts compared to someone like Kale or a built-out legendary. But the value she brings isn't raw numbers. It's control, survivability, and consistency. She's the champ that makes your entire team better just by being there. That's why Venomage locks down the number 9 spot. She's not flashy, but she's one of the nastiest debuffers in the game and an absolute lifesaver in long fights. Number 8, Whisper. Yo, Whisper is that silent assassin you don't see coming until your boss is already halfway to the grave. This epic absolutely melts single targets, and when I say melts, I mean she'll turn clan boss, fire knight, or even doom tower bosses into butter on a hot pan. She brings her own self buffs to crank up the damage, she slaps on weaken, and the best part? Every time she crits and things line up, she gets bonus turns, which means her damage starts to snowball out of control. You blink and the boss's HP bar is chunked down like crazy. If you're struggling with late game bosses, Whisper is your cheat code. Straight up boss killer vibes. Number 7, Fahrakin the Fat. Don't let the name fool you. This dude is an absolute loot unit. Fahrakin the Fat is hands down the best ally attack epic in the game, and honestly, he even claps harder than some legendary ally attack champs. Yeah, I said it. Here's why he's a monster. He brings increased crit rate and crit damage for the whole squad, throws out poisons and HP burns, and then drags your entire team into an ally attack like, let's go boys, everybody hit at once. That combo makes him essential for clan boss, a total weapon in Fire Knight, and just a menace anywhere you need damage stacked fast. He's not just good, he's core team material. If you pull him, build him immediately. Dude's a walking raid boss. Number 6, Miscreated Monster. This dude is built like a nightmare, but plays like your team's guardian angel. Miscreated Monster is the king of spider progression and one of the best shield supports in the entire game. His AoE stun locks down waves so enemies barely get to breathe, and then he throws up massive shields based on the damage he deals, which means the harder he hits, the tankier your team becomes. On top of that, he's rocking ally protection and continuous heals, so not only is he shielding your squad, he's soaking up damage and healing them through it. Basically, he's a full-on carry for early to mid-game players and still crazy valuable late game. If you're stuck on Spider's Den or struggling with wave control in Doom Tower, Miscreated Monster is the answer. He doesn't just protect your team, he makes them unkillable. And that wraps up number 6 with Miscreated Monster holding it down like a one-man fortress. But now it's time to turn things up a notch. We're stepping into the big leagues, the real game changers. Welcome to the top 5 epics in Raid, Shadow Legends, the ones that completely redefine your team's power level. Number 5, Deacon Armstrong. Bruh, if you've been sleeping on Deacon, wake up. This dude is literally one of the most valuable epics in the entire game, and it's not even close. First off, AoE decreased defense. And not just that, but on a 2-turn cooldown thanks to his cheeky extra turn mechanic. That's insane. Pair him with any nuker, and you're deleting waves before they even know what's up. On top of that, he's got turn meter control on both ends, fills your team's meter while dropping the enemies. That's literally free speed tuning without needing god-tier gear. Oh, and don't forget the speed aura in all battles. Yeah, not just dungeons, not just arena, everywhere. That alone makes him an auto-include for so many accounts. Deacon isn't just good, he's account changing. If you pull him early on, trust me, you're eating good. Number 4, Stag Knight. Now listen, if you've ever had trouble controlling bosses or keeping enemies in check, Stag Knight is your guy. Don't let that goofy deer helmet fool you. This dude is a monster when it comes to debuffing. His bread and butter? That AoE decreased defense plus decrease attack. And here's the crazy part. It's on just a 3-turn cooldown. That's some legendary level consistency packed into an epic. Decreased defense makes your whole team hit harder, while decreased attack shuts down incoming damage, basically doubling your survivability. It's like having a built-in insurance policy every few turns. But that's not all. His A1 slaps on decreased speed. And if you've played Raid long enough, you know how broken speed control is. Whether it's Fire Knight, Dark Fae, or even arena fights, slowing enemies down gives your squad the breathing room to dominate. Fire Knight's shield drops easier. Dark Fae's clones don't cycle back around to destroy you. And in dungeons, mobs just feel like they're walking through quicksand. The beauty of Stag Knight is how plug-and-play he is. He doesn't need insane gear, he doesn't need to be booked to the moon, and he doesn't require fancy setups. You drop him in a team, and suddenly everything just feels smoother. More control, less damage taken, faster runs. Bottom line, Stag Knight is one of those epics that feels like you're cheating when you get him early. He's basically a Swiss Army knife for debuffs, and that utility will carry you deep into late-game content. Number 3. Ursala the Mourner. Now listen. If you've been around Raid long enough, you know that support champs can literally make or break your account, and Ursala the Mourner is one of those champions that can completely carry you through some of the hardest content. Her kit is just stacked for keeping your team alive. First off, she's got one of the best revives in the entire Epic pool. Not just bringing your team back, but she brings them back buffed. I'm talking about throwing on Strengthen and Increase Defense for 3 whole turns. That's insane value because your freshly revived champs don't just pop up to get clapped again, they actually come back tankier and ready to fight. And she's not done there. Ursala also brings an AoE decrease attack, which makes enemy hits feel way lighter, plus an increase attack buff for your whole squad. So she's giving you defense and offense in one move. That's straight up game-changing utility. If you're pushing through campaign, dungeons, Doom Tower waves, or even dipping into arena, Ursala makes it all smoother. She just gives your team breathing room when things get messy. That mix of reviving, buffing, and weakening enemies makes her a huge progression tool, especially if you're not stacked with legendary revivers yet. Basically, she's the kind of champ you slot into your team, and suddenly fights that felt impossible before are actually winnable. She's one of those glue champions that holds the squad together, and that's exactly why she earns this number 3 spot on the list. Number 2, Geomancer. Alright, if we're talking about epics that punch way above their weight class, Geomancer is basically the poster child. This dude is straight up unfair when it comes to boss fights. His whole kit is built around turning the enemy's strength against them. The big thing? His passive. Anytime the enemy tries to do damage, Geomancer just says, "Cool story, bro," and reflects insane amounts of it right back thanks to his HP burn mechanics. So, instead of you panicking about big boss slams, you're literally watching the boss burn themselves down. It's hilarious and busted at the same time. And it doesn't stop there. Geomancer also brings an AoE decrease accuracy, which is huge utility against some of the nastier bosses like Hydra and Dark Phase Chimera heads. Lowering their accuracy means way fewer debuffs landing on your team, which buys you way more survivability. The beauty of Geomancer is that he's not some crazy gear hog either. You don't need god-tier artifacts to make him work. Give him some solid accuracy to land his debuffs, a bit of speed so he's not snoozing through the fight, and boom, he's already cooking. That accessibility is what makes him such a universal pick. Arena? He can mess around there. Doom Tower? Absolutely. But where he really shines, where he straight up becomes a cheat code, is against Clan Boss and Hydra. Watching him basically delete bosses with their own damage is one of the most satisfying things in Raid. So yeah, when it comes to boss slayers, Geomancer is sitting near the very top. The utility, the damage reflect, the ease of building him, he's just too good. That's why he locks down the number 2 spot on this list. And finally, locking down the number 1 spot, we've got the absolute queen of wave clearing, Seer. If you've played Raid for any decent stretch of time, you already know how disgusting she is. This champion doesn't just clear waves, she obliterates them in ways that even most legendary nukers can't keep up with. The secret sauce? Her skill Karma Burn. This thing is basically a giant red delete button. She rips all the buffs off your team and converts them into straight up nuke damage that just wipes enemy waves clean. Dungeons, Doom Tower, Faction Wars, doesn't matter. If Seer is in your squad, waves disappear in seconds. Now here's the wild part. It's not like she's some fragile, niche champion either. When paired with strong buffer champs, Seer scales to ridiculous levels. Bring in someone who stacks your team with a ton of buffs, like Mausoleum Mage, Lydia, or even a budget option like Spirit Host. And suddenly Seer is dropping numbers that make even legendary damage dealers look like they're playing on easy mode. What makes her so vital is speed. Late game players rely on Seer to turn dungeon runs that used to take forever into smooth 30-second farming machines. She is basically the engine behind almost every late game speed team strategy. You want fast dragon runs? Seer. You want instant ice golem clears? Seer. Doom Tower waves giving you headaches? Guess what? Seer. The truth is, once you unlock her potential, it's almost impossible to imagine farming without her. That's why she's not just good, she's essential. She sets the standard for wave clearers in this game, and that's why Seer sits comfortably at number 1 on this list. And there you have it, the top 10 epic champions in Raid Shadow Legends that punch way above their weight class. These aren't just fillers until you pull Legendaries. These are straight-up game changers that can carry entire teams through Clan Boss, Doom Tower, Hydra, you name it. Now, if you're ready to build your squad with monsters like these, make sure to download Raid Shadow Legends using my link in the description. Not only will you jump into the game instantly, but you'll also snag some free legendary champions and bonus rewards to kickstart your journey. So go hit that link, get your rewards, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.